Hello, everybody, and welcome. Good afternoon. This is another episode of Paul on the Porch. And here I am, your host, Paul Taubman, and I am, well, sitting on the porch. So it's not really a full bona fide thing yet, Paul on the Porch. I just thought about this as I sat down and pressed record. I actually started doing a couple videos. I thought I was doing one here the other day, yesterday. I talked about Joomla and a website that I was building and realized that's on my personal page. So if you're interested in hearing anything about Joomla, by all means go over to my personal page and check it out and see what I had to say. Otherwise, today, new topic. Today's topic is brought to you by privacy, right? And the importance of privacy and keeping your website secure. Obviously, you don't want hackers getting into your website. So first thing I'm going to ask you is this. How secure is your site? Do you know? You know, one of the easiest ways that hackers get in is through something that's known as brute force. Basically, they take your username, which is easy to find. It's really hard to kind of mask that easily, I should say. Yeah, so it's hard to easily mask it. You can do things so that it's hidden, but it takes a bit of work. So they can find that, which is really half of the equation, right? The two pieces that they're trying to get are your username and then your password. So let's just say that it's easy enough from your author page to get who you are, right? Then the next thing they have to do is find out what your password is. So brute force is simply a way where they're going through a whole laundry list of passwords. They're going through the most frequent passwords that people use. They're going through what's known as a dictionary lookup, where they're just going through dictionary words and just trying them. So they'll try your username and, I don't know, let's say aardvark. Then they're going to try your username and they're going to try anteater. And then they're going to try your username, right? And they're just going to kind of bang against these. And because it's not somebody who's actually sitting there, this is all a computer, it's a program, it's a bot. It's just going to go through them at the speed of, the electrons flying through the internet. So it's easily to do. So you want to make sure that your site, number one, is preventing brute force by putting things on there so that if you have somebody log in more than, say, 5 times in 3 seconds incorrectly, you want to kind of do something to lock them out. So there's several different plugins that you can use to prevent that. And it's just a good way to make your website a little bit safer, right? So along with that, when we're talking about passwords, use a strong, ugly password. Use a password that's uppercase, lowercase, characters, numbers, digits, right? Everything. And make it long. The longer, the better. If you know what your password is, chances are it can be guessed, right? So you don't ever want anything that you can really easily figure it out. So use that long, ugly looking stuff. And if you need to, use a password, what's it called? Like a password generator to create the ugly long password. And then use a tool like LastPass or RoboForm or 1Password that does the management of those passwords for you, so you don't have to remember them, okay? And the last thing I'm going to say about this right now is never, ever, ever use the same password on multiple accounts. That's probably the worst thing you can do, especially if it's going to be your bank account or if it's going to be your email. Those are two of the worst things to have the same password, because what's going to happen is if somebody hacks into your email, right? Think about that. Think about all the personal stuff that comes to your email, your bank accounts, your credit card accounts, your login accounts, your membership accounts, all those kind of things. So if they have that, first of all, and then they know what your email address is, then they can go over to those websites, and first thing you're going to do is try the same password, because a lot of people use the same password for everything. Right? So you don't want to do that. All right, so that's it. Some easy, quick tips. Number one, make sure you have a strong, ugly password. Make sure you're using a password program that will handle all of these passwords, because all my passwords are at least 14 characters long. Right? So I have no idea what they are. Couldn't guess them if I wanted to. Also, don't use the same password more than once. Did I say that already in the recap? And of course, be safe out there. Okay. Oh, one other thing, just real quickly. Oh, the other thing was, sorry about this, was use safety on your website so that if somebody is trying to do a brute force break-in, that's automatically going to log them out. Okay? Then the last thing I want to mention is just if you're using something like what's known as two-factor authentication, that's going to make it even more difficult because they need to have a device like your smartphone that you link up to it. Because when you go to log in and you have two-factor authentication on there, it's going to send or have a special code that's only on your cell phone or smartphone or whatever device you're using, or they'll email it to you that will allow you to get back in. Right? So that makes it super strong because that code changes every 30 seconds or so. So that really locks it down from a security standpoint on the login piece. So I hope you found this enjoyable. I hope you learned something. Leave a comment and let me know if there's some other things that you're doing on your website, and we can follow this up with an additional talk. Right? There's certainly, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to safety, security, keeping the bad guys out, and locking down your website. So we're starting just with passwords. Coming up next time, talk about something different. So if you have any questions you want to know, or if you want me to talk about something, leave it in the comment and I'll get to it. All right? So again, thank you very much. Look for the next edition of Paul on the Porch coming soon, maybe in a day or so. Take care, everybody. Be well. Bye-bye.